What is it that keeps us all going? What is it that keeps the human race alive? What is it that helps us be strong enough to handle any pain we endure? It's love. Love is the most powerful frequency in the universe, and once we can harness its power, we can create miracles. And I mean any kind of love, but it all starts from within. Self-love is the most important thing we will ever do. And then giving that love to others can change things. It can heal people. It can even heal ourselves. So how do we get to that space? How do we find that love within ourselves? And it all starts with healing. Because when we heal ourselves, we come to love ourselves. And when we love ourselves, we can love other people as well. And this is what makes everything worthwhile. My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach. I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse, and I also offer twin flame and spiritual guidance. This is the thing. We can say that life is hard, and we can say that we've endured an awful lot of trauma and pain, but we can also say that there's one thing that made it all worthwhile, and that is love. Even if we didn't receive love, healthy love or high vibrational love, there's that feeling within us that keeps us strong. That feeling within us that makes us believe and know that there's something more to this life. And I got the idea to do this video because, if any of you seen the new Barbie movie, it's not new anymore really. There's really good messages in that, and it's hilarious. But at the end of it, Barbie wants to become real. She wants to become human. And she asked the creator, can I be human? And she said, are you sure? Because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I'm not saying this word for word, but that's it. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. So she showed Barbie the pain that was possible, as well as the love. And Barbie had this vision, and she saw the sadness, she saw the hate, she saw the pain within the world, but she also felt the love. And no matter what, she said, I want to do it anyway. And that's what it is. We're going to sacrifice so many things in our life for love. And I think that's the most beautiful thing in the whole world. Love makes the risk worth it. Love makes us take chances. Love heals us and makes us stronger. And I really think there's so much power within love. When we love ourselves, it's the most amazing experience ever. Because often, most of our lives, we're codependent. Well, from day one, we're codependent on other people. That's also love. But we need to get to a place where we love ourselves. Where that if we're in solitude, we're happy in our own skin. But when we love ourselves, we can actually create so much power and miracles. We can strive for the life we want. We can follow our life purpose. This in turn helps others. When we love everything around us, and it's the most beautiful feeling in the world, because when we radiate love, we can help to heal everyone else. It's a vibrational energy, which we can physically and emotionally heal other people just by thinking about them, just by sending them love. And there's love in every aspect of our lives. We might be very, very, we might be wounded where we are. We're all wounded. But we might be so in this victim mentality, thinking no one loves us. There's no love in my life. I've no one in my physical reality. So how can I relate to this video? How can I relate to love? But there's love in every aspect of life. When you wake up, you can feel love for opening your eyes. There's love to be found in nature. The plants grow through love. Animals are created through love. You were created through love. Every single thing has love within it. That smile from a friend or from a person or a stranger on the street, that's love. That nice text message from your friend or your partner, that's love. You don't need romantic love or anyone even in your physical reality to actually experience how powerful love is. And I think it's the only thing that keeps us alive, truly. And I was watching The Theory of Everything the other day. It's the movie based on Stephen Hawking's life. And you know what? He had a life expectancy of 2 years after his diagnosis. So this was probably around, I can't remember when he got his diagnosis, but an expectancy of 2 years. you know, and anyone would have given up. And I know he had knowledge to share, and I know that would have given him motivation. But I don't think he would have lasted till 76 years of age if he didn't have love in his life. And I really, truly believe that. It was the power of love that helped him to live. Because you know, being in his situation, you know, all the obstacles he went through, I don't think it would have been possible for him to last so long without that love of his wife, and then the love afterwards with his second wife, you know, and his children, you know, and the love of his family. You know, I think that's the most it's the most powerful thing we can have. You know, if we're ill, if we're going through trauma, if anything like that, it's the love of our support group that actually gets us to keep going. And that's it. Like, you know, I think we deteriorate more without love. And I think without love, it makes us weak. And like, you know, I go back to the fact we can still feel this love without having a romantic partner. The love we have for ourselves and the universe and the people around us is enough to keep us alive. It's enough to keep us strong. It's enough to give us that power to live every day. And not just live, but to live with purpose. You know, and I know what it's like to not feel love. And I mean not feel love in my surrounding, but not feel love for myself. And it's heartbreaking. And your health deteriorates and your life deteriorates because you're living with these walls up. And we put these walls up as a way of protection. But we're like, and I spoke about this before. And oh my God, I can feel the pain when I think about this. I got to the stage where I closed up so much. I used to say this, and I still stand by this, that my heart was like, it was like a trap door, but it was a one-way system. I was giving love, I was giving love, I was giving love, I was giving love, but I wasn't receiving it. And then when I wasn't receiving it, I blocked that side of my heart off. So I got to the stage where I didn't want to receive it. I was scared to receive it. And you know, I've been on my own for like since 2018, and I've been happy on my own throughout that. But because of certain things, like, you know, because I had friendships, I had family members around me, but when I had to walk away from people in my physical reality, it felt like all the love was gone. Now I could still give love, but I couldn't give it to its full capacity, because I likened this, and if any of you have seen my videos, it was my heart was turning to stone. You know, when Medusa turns somebody into stone, it's gradual, you know, like that. So like the way it was going was that half my heart was closed, and it was actually just gradually closing off the part that was giving out love. And it got to the stage where I started to get lonely. I started to get setbacks. You know, I had blocks in my life, and I was afraid to let love in, and I was afraid to let friendship in. I was afraid to let anybody in. And I actually got to the stage where I could actually feel like my heart was fully turned to stone. And I know that sounds weird, but it actually felt like that. And that moment when I realized it was my friend helped me realize it, because she, you know, I opened up to her. I was able to trust her, and you know, it was the first time I kind of was vulnerable with somebody. And you know, I was like, oh my God, like what would happen to me if I could not give love? That's my whole objective of life. My purpose in life is to love, and all our purpose in life is to love and be loved. And it scared me so much. And I literally got a hammer to my fucking other side of my heart. And I was like, I have to fucking let love in. And I realized that I was actually afraid to be loved because of everything I'd been through. But in letting love back into my life through friendships and through myself, really, I feel so much stronger. You know, we think that we're protecting ourselves with these barriers around our heart. We're protecting ourselves from being hurt. But the more that we put up these walls, the weaker we actually get. And that was for me. I was getting weaker. I was getting lonely. Like, I love my own company. I love it. But when I was getting to the stage where I had no love left I wasn't able to let it in. But I was getting to the stage where I had no love left to give. That frightened me so much. And I was getting... It was just so out of alignment for me. So that was like my main objective was, oh my God, I have to fix this before it gets too bad. And in letting that love come out again and letting love back into my life, I have been so much stronger. I've removed blocks, and everything flows a lot more easily when we live in love. And I was thinking about this as well. I don't know if you've seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It's got Jim Carrey in it and Kate Winslet. And I've seen this before, and I think we all go through it. When we break up with somebody, especially a romantic one, or if we're in separation from our twin flame or what have you, we go through this excruciating amount of pain. We go through a severe heartache, and we're like, oh, I wish I never met that person. And I'm not saying that personally, but like in this movie, like, or I've seen it with other people, I wish I never experienced it. I wish I could have raised the memory of this so that I wouldn't be in pain. And that's what they do in the movie. They literally have this way of erasing memories. And I just think it's the most heartbreaking thing of all. No matter how much pain we go through heartache, isn't it better to have experienced what you went through? Isn't it better to have experienced that love, no matter how brief? And I think the memories of feeling that love trumps the memories of the heartbreak. We can all get over a heartbreak, but can we ever really survive without the memory of being loved or, feeling love? And I know that can be hard to fathom for some people, because I've never had healthy love in my life. Never really had the true meaning of love from a romantic partner. But I've seen how powerful love is when it comes to friendship and self-love. And your fur babies or your children. We spend our whole lives, I suppose, running from love, but running from loving ourselves. We're like, I remember, it was heartbreaking. This was back in 2018, before I started properly healing. I was out of another toxic relationship, and I couldn't even like myself. I had so many regrets. I had so much shame within me. I couldn't even look in the mirror. And I remember my friend, we were in Amsterdam for my 30th, and she was like, look in the mirror and tell yourself you love yourself and that you're amazing and that you're brilliant. I just looked in the mirror and I actually just started crying, and I said, I can't, because that's not true. And less than a year later, I met the same girl, and I was like, yes, I fucking love myself, because I'd done the healing. But it got to a stage, like, where I was powerless because I didn't even have love for myself. And it was my dogs actually that helped me to love myself, because I had very severe anger issues and trigger points. And I get so angry all the time. And then my dogs would look at me and was like, oh, I love you. And I'm like, I just shouted at you. You know what I mean? How could you love me? And then I decided, like, I could see that, that they saw something within me that I couldn't see. And that to me is true love. That's unconditional love. And I said to myself, they must see something that's really there. So there must be somebody amazing inside, if my animals can tell me that. And I strived then to become the person that they saw. And it was the most amazing thing I've ever done, because in loving myself, I'm able to love people more. I'm able to do my coaching better. I'm able to do these videos with love. I'm able to share friendships now with love. I'm more in communication with the communities now, because I'm living in love. But when I'm closed off, it's like, oh, I don't want to talk to anybody. And it keeps you stuck. That's what it is. When I was closing off, when my heart was turning to stone, I wasn't letting anybody in. And I didn't want to let anyone in. I was like, if I stay here in my little box, no one can hurt me. But I was getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. And if I was going to continue down that way, I would have turned into Scrooge. You know what I mean? Like, I would have actually just completely blocked all love out of my life. And it's in embracing that love around me again that I am so much stronger, that my life is flowing more easily, that I'm, because it's not just, if we close our heart to love, as in, the people or things around us, we're actually closing our life to opportunities as well. Your life is going to remain stagnant if you don't live in love. You're not going to be able to receive abundance or opportunities if your heart is closed. So it's not just about letting a person in, whether it's romantic or friendship. It's about letting opportunities in. How are you going to fulfill your life purpose if you remain stuck in this box and don't communicate with the world, or don't allow the world to communicate with you? There's such a magical power in the frequency of love. And another thing that I want to mention, if we can actually heal others by sending them love energetically. So if you just think of another person and send them healing love and energy, they're going to receive that, and that's going to help them heal. Love can help us heal our bodies, and love can help us heal other people as well. And group meditations have been known to actually change the vibration of certain things. So if we're all vibrating in an energy of love, what kind of magic can we create for this world? The possibilities are endless if we just remove that fear, remove those blocks, and open our heart to love. Open our heart to give love, and open our hearts to receive love. Because I promise you, it is worth it. Everything we've ever endured, like to this day, I'll say it, everything I've been through has gotten me to the stage right now. So I wouldn't change it, even though a lot of it was hard, very hard. But I'm in an energy now where I love myself. And that is the most important thing you will ever do. Healing your own wounds and moving on from the past in order to let love into yourself, through yourself, and let love out of yourself. And then let love in. Because I swear, when you open out of that bubble and you live in this vibration of love, you will have so many things come into your life that you will love, that you can love. And then you can have many things vibrate into your life that will love you. So it is just this magical, magnetic frequency, and it all starts within you. So it's time to start loving yourself, and then you can see the vibration of love around you. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you'd like help on your journey, please book me for a discovery call today, and I'd love nothing more than to help you on your path.